want to know what's the main challenge in education of your country.
Well, I would say that traditionally it has been how to take care of all students, and because we are a very small country, we can't afford to lose any talent of young people. And today it means that we have a group of students, 10-15%, who are not so motivated and not so interested to study after basic education, and how to motivate them, how to get them into modern professions and modern working life. That's maybe the most challenging issue today.
How is Finland in international exams evaluation?
Well, what we have learned, first of all, we have learned that we are doing quite well because the results are also so good. But going to the reasons behind this, I would say that the most important what we have learned is that we have invested a lot of work, pedagogical support on weakest performing students, those students who have problems in their learning, who are not so motivated, and that seems to be worth of doing. We have managed to raise their level much higher than in any other country.
What's the rate of children in school in Finland?
The students who go to school.
Yeah.
Well, when we are speaking about basic education, it's 100%. Every student go to school and get a degree from 9-year compulsory education. And this is where we have managed quite well. When we go to upper secondary school grades 10, 11 and 12, it's about 85 to 90%.
Some of the levels are any problem? High school, college, and the basic school, all of them you have a high?
Yes.
Yes.
Quite high, yeah. But we have some problems because we would like to have all students also in high school level, but we have not managed to do that. About 10-15% of students don't take high school, and they are students at risk today in Finnish society because they have difficulties to find job if they don't have any high school studies.
Is the education in Finland more public or private education?
It's almost totally public. Only less than 2% of students go to private education, and even those private schools, they are funded by public money. So we can say that it's almost totally public.
And then the government invests more in basic education or in high school or in college and in universities?
Yeah. Well, it's slightly difficult to say, but I would say that traditionally and even nowadays, Finland has invested quite a lot on basic education, to taking care of all students and to guarantee that students in all over the country has opportunity to go to school and to build schools and have talented teachers all over the country.
How did Finland become the world reference in education?
Well, there are many reasons for that, and there's no simple explanation for that. But I would like to raise first how we take care of the special needs of individual students. We have invested a lot on what we call special education. We have special personnel in every school who help teachers in regular classes with students who have learning problems or social problems because difficulties at home and so on. And maybe that's the most important single reason why we have managed to raise the level of the weakest performing students so high. The other explaining factor are teachers, especially primary teachers. From the 70s, all Finnish primary teachers have been trained at the university level, and they all have master's degree, so 5-6 years studies at universities. And we have managed to keep the profession of teachers, the popularity of teachers' profession very high. For instance, in my own university, we take only 10–15% of applicants into primary teacher programs. So we can select the best ones for teacher profession, and that's very exceptional compared to other countries today.
I would like you to describe the teacher formation in Finland, the teacher training.
Well, as I said, all teachers are trained at universities, and that has happened from the 70s. When we are speaking about primary teachers, their major subject is education, and they study also those subjects they teach in schools. So when we are speaking about primary schools, grades 1 to 6, basically same teachers are training all subjects. And then on lower secondary level, we have subject teacher system, and typically these teachers are trained so that they first select the teaching subject, and after getting master degree on those subjects, they get 1 year educational studies afterwards. But nowadays we have more modern programs where these students are selected directly to subject teacher program, and it means in practice that the subject studies and educational studies are mixed from the very beginning. And also practical training in teacher training schools are included into program of all teachers. And these teacher training schools, they are part of the university, so they are university schools for practicing becoming teachers.
I understand. Mr. Valijarvi, how long does it take the basic formation of a teacher?
For primary teachers, it's typically 5 years, and for subject teachers, it's 5 to 6 years.
How does Finland use the technology to improve the education?
Well, we have invested a lot on hardware, computers and networks from 80s. But nowadays it's more and more investing on software, how to prepare programs which are available by schools and teachers and students. And we have quite many teachers who are interested and who are using, for instance, internet in their teaching, and who are able to develop very challenging environments for their students. But to be honest, I have to say that it's still quite exceptional. There are not too many this type of teachers, and today I would say that it's a real challenge for our education system, how to get teachers in regular classes, in regular schools, in large scale level to take advantage of technology. We are still in process in this, and there are some teachers who are very experienced and motivated, but not very many.
Nowadays, most of the courses, the university courses, are presential courses. Or you use some distance learning too?
Not so many, because we have universities all over the country. We don't have that type of need as many big countries like Brazil or Australia or Canada. We are using distance learning on certain level, but not very much. We are not number one in that.
What's the main difference between Finland and the other countries in Europe?
Well, I would say that first of all that we are the teacher the role of teachers and the status of teachers is much higher than in most other European countries, and maybe that's one of the main reasons why we are doing better than our neighbors in European countries. The other difference is that Finnish culture and Finnish society is quite homogeneous. We don't have very many different kind of people, and we don't have very many immigrants yet. We have some, but not too many. Maybe these are the main differences. And of course, we are a very small country. Our population is only 5.3 million compared to old European countries. This is quite small, and maybe that's one reason we have had to take good care of all, because our potential is so small. And compared to some other countries, maybe we can say that Finns are quite practical in everyday life. We are doing things practically, not discussing so much as some, for instance, Southern European countries, and it has made our industry quite effective in many ways, and especially when we are speaking about technology and the technological industries, we have been quite good on that area.
What Finland have to do to keep its leadership in education for next years?
Yeah. Well, that's a very good question. Well, I would say that first of all, we have to take good care of teachers, because in many other European countries and also worldwide, teachers have lost their status during last 10-20 years. It has happened in England and also in other Nordic countries, which are our neighbors, and we shouldn't allow that to happen in our country, to keep the teachers profession as popular as it is nowadays. And
continue.
Yeah, and that's why we have to invest in teachers in service training to keep their skills and knowledge in very high level.
Teach to other countries and to South America especially?
Well, I'm always very careful to teach other countries, because every country has its own culture and tradition, and every country has to do its own decisions by themselves. But maybe in very general level, we can say that if you want to have a high quality education, you have to take good care of the equity of education, to take care of all students, to give a possibility for all students, not depending on their social background or the place where they are living, to give all possibilities to get good education. Maybe that's the basic that has made our system so strong.
Do you know the Brazilian education? What's your opinion for the system, the educational system?
Well, I don't know very much about your education system, but what I have learned being here, this is my third time in Brazil, I have noticed that you are investing a lot on taking care of the whole country and making it possible for children all over the country to have high quality education, and I really appreciate that. But of course your challenges are huge compared to my country, which is very small and homogeneous in many ways compared to your country. But I have quite positive impression what is happening in your country. But as I said, I can't say anything about the details. But what, to my understanding, is the most important is to invest in teacher education and try to raise the level of teachers in many different ways, not only in basic education but also in in-service education, and especially taking those teachers who are working in remote areas, in very very difficult areas and challenging environments.
One thing that's very different that I note between Brazil and Finland is the teacher in Brazil doesn't have the respect that
Yes, no.
that he has in Finland. How can we get there? We get this respect. This
Well, that's extremely difficult question because it's much easier to lose the respect of teachers than to get it back. In Finland, I think that where our politicians have been very clever is that they have invested a lot on teacher education, in basic education, and now more and more also in teachers in-service training, and not so much on external evaluation systems and testing that has happened in many countries, that politicians have been investing a lot of money on testing systems, because it seems that after that the process goes so that teachers are blamed about bad results, and it's in many cases it means that it's a disaster for the respect of teachers. I would like to start from the other side, to invest first on teacher education and try to also to integrate parents and the whole society to support teachers, because teachers can do their work alone, and to understand that investments in children and teaching are investments in the future of the society. But it means that we have to trust on teachers, and we have to invest in teacher education, and we have to help teachers in their very demanding work. And how to do that, it's a real challenge for all countries.
and besides Finland, you can tell us some experiences, some interesting experience in education in other country that you know.
Most teachers are motivated to work in schools because, first of all, they want to work with children. They really want to do best for their children. That seems to be a very international phenomenon. That's the main motivation. But the other motivation that is still existing in my country is that teachers are quite free to do their work, is that they are allowed to work independently in their classrooms. That I'm not favoring too demanding external evaluations and trying to control very much teachers. Of course, we have to know what happens in schools, but not control teachers too much. That seems to be very interesting, very important for people who are working in the teacher profession, and that what is motivating them, at least in my country.
Okay, Mr. Valijarvi, thank you very much for your time.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.